Primitive man. I have superior instincts to identify dangerous predators with just one glance. The modern man. If friend-shaped, then his friend. Pilots in 1990. No, I used slightly too much fuel while flying manually. Aviation pioneers. Things are improving. I only crashed 3 times this month. This will inspire generations of artists to come. All they did was enslave, raid, and our women. Vikings are so cool. You can't keep a bear in the military camp. Okay, congrats, private. You earned yourself a promotion. Right. I'm more of a Porsche guy. Based. Same here. The Aztecs looking for the right spot to build their biggest city. Too hot, too easy, too rocky. Perfect. What do you mean they surrendered already? I'm still gonna try this bad boy out. 2 French kings died from accidentally hitting their head on a doorway. Wisdom teeth in 50,000 BC. Me have extra teeth, so me can chew through dead animal skin and tree bark. Modern wisdom teeth. My jaw hurts. I need a $2,000 surgery. A man named Robert Lane named his 2 sons Winner and Loser. Winner grew up to be a criminal, and Loser became a detective. Well, how the turntables. No, you can't just shoot me with a weapon that took you hours to train. I trained my whole life to be a knight. It is unchivalrous. Haha, gunpowder go bang. Humans evolving the ability to sweat. Hundreds of species evolutionizing for stamina. When you travel back in time to the 1940s, but everything is in color. Those guys lied to me. God created man. I made them eat. Richard, what the hell is that thing? Gatling gun. Average Roman physician. I am hurt. Please help me. Just pour some wine on the wound. Quickly, remove his intestines. Pour wine on them and then back in again. How would you even defeat this? Hey bro, look out. It's a grenade. Ancient Mesoamericans. Teosinte. I can fix her. Corn. Mission accomplished. This is how enemy aircrafts were detected before the invention of radars. Men 500 years ago. I've lost my left eye and 5 of my 9 sons in this decade-long war. Nevertheless, I must keep fighting. Men today. The McDonald's worker forgot my extra order of fries. Why do bad things always happen to me? You turn 18 and you get a card in the mail. It's to join the military. Melting ice in Antarctica reveals new uncharted island. The British Empire. Modern boys waking up. I don't want to wake up. Roman men waking up. Thanks Sol Invictus for waking me up. You're welcome, Amicus. How the hell did these natives manage to move such big rocks without any machines? Aliens. Business nowadays. Crypto go brrrr. Business in ancient times. I joined the army so I could sack cities. Let's ransom the emperor. Engineers then. I built roads, bridges, and miles of aqueducts with near perfect precision using ancient tools. Engineers now. Help, my bridge collapsed. Neptune versus Caligula. You can't declare war on one of your gods. Let me take some seashells as spoils of the sea. World War I pilots before they started putting guns in plane. An enemy pilot passing by, also with no guns. The earth is degenerating today. Bribery and corruption around. Children no longer obey their parents. Every man wants to write a book, and it is evident that the end of the world is fast approaching. Written in 2800 BC. It's so over. Some things don't change. How it looks to Ding Dong Ditch versus how it... Other nations. We've spent months trying to create the perfect helmet, and is both good to look at and it could protect our troops. Britain. Bowl. Ship captains in 2021. Roman mariners. A little storm. There is no way I can survive this. Guess I will die. Win a war. Lose a war. Win 2 world wars in a row. Lose 2 world wars in a row. Get nuked twice in a war. Lose a war in 30 minutes. Start a war because of football. It was better long ago, complains modern man, who imagines he would be a nobleman war hero. But most certainly it would be a poor peasant conscript on the receiving end of a gothic charge. 5-year-olds in the 1990s. Come along now, Timmy. I'm taking you to Chuck E. Cheese. But I wanted McDonald's. 5-year-olds in the 1500s. Come along now, Timmy. I'm taking you to see a man get flayed alive in the town square. Okay, mother. Watching people die was literally entertainment hundreds of years ago. Bruh. Cold War from 1947 to 1991. Missiles. Race to space. Assassins and spies. Cold War now. I'll ban your app. Modern politicians. Haha, you cheated on your wife. No, trust me, I didn't. Roman politicians. You cheated on your wife. Hades, yeah, it was great. What, they're proud of cheating? What? Vlad the Inhaler. 2022. This bad boy reaches 100 kilometers an hour in 8 seconds. OMG, so fast. 717 AD. Your Grace, I present to you liquid fire. You can burn your enemies from distance, even on water. You will be handsomely rewarded. Nobody. European heads of state in the early 20th century. Nostalgic person. I wish we could go back to the good old days. Literally every historian. Greek apologizes with huge horse. The nation of Greece said sorry to the European Union with a present of an enormous wooden horse. Oh, did somebody get addicted to drugs? The Coca-Cola Company responding to complaints in 1891. Finally, some good historical accuracy. I haven't met my soulmate yet, but I'd like to think that's just because they're busy doing something really important. Glad my room is on to the left. For some reason, the right side of this hotel floor doesn't sound peaceful. Normal people with a time machine. I'm your great-grandson. No, you're not. Chad's with a time machine. We have a bigger one made of glass in Memphis, Tennessee. There's a Bass Pro shop inside. This Bass Pro shop must be a powerful king. Modern travels. We have a 5-hour flight ahead. This is unbearable. Medieval travels. It will take us half a year to get to the Holy Land. Let's go. Dynamite being used in warfare. Alfred Nobel, who just wanted to provide a safer alternative to black powder and help people make some cool tunnels. Gladiators in movies. I can't take it anymore. Just kill me. Gladiators in reality. I am well fed, semi-famous, and get plenty of women. After 3 years, I am free. Yeah, but most of them died from infections, even though the fights did stop after blood was drawn. Bruh. POV, you got struck by lightning. In modern day versus in ancient Greece. George Washington. Who are you? No time to explain. Just come with me. That's sick. I know, right? Some guy in ancient Greece pointing at a perfectly climbable mountain. There are gods up there. The rest of ancient Greece. Sick. No need to fact check that. What normal people learn from history. No one wins in a war. Everyone loses. What I learned from history. If you want soldiers to be fast as hell, give them this. Meth. Agriculture is great. The food is right next to you at all times. Our population is increasing. We live in houses now, and we have time to focus on things other than survival. Like art. Some unspecified time later. Agriculture is terrible. The food that's right next to you gets sick all the time. So not everyone is dying and sleeping with your family in the same room sucks. Royal Navy. Quality trained crew will bring us victory. French Navy. Stronger hulls will keep us in the fight longer. Spanish Navy. Mucho canyons equals mucho damage. War not supported by own country. Not paid well. Will get PTSD. Can't technically commit war crimes. Ancient soldier. Gets Roman citizenship. Is fed and paid well. Can choose land or 3,000 denarii after serving. May commit war crimes. When you sneeze next to the huge wooden horse you are guarding, and someone inside the horse says, is this bless you? And World War I generals, when they gain 5 meters of land after losing 10,000 soldiers. Ancient Greeks. Does something dishonorable. Poseidon. Can you survive the massive tsunami? Creating cool and unique names for your equipment to avoid confusion. Naming everything M1. Boy soldiers when enrolling. I'm going to go on an adventure. Also them 1 week later in the trenches. Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. The Revolutionary War hero Marcus de Feuillée brought a huge trunk full of American soil back to France so that he could be buried in American soil in his home of Paris, France. Sir, why are you digging up dirt and putting it in a chest? Yes, American dirt. Yes. So natural and organic. Want to learn something sad? Sure. Things like the 80% of Leonardo da Vinci's greatest work, the most detailed history of Rome, and more are lost to history. Bro. This is a god. I know you see it. This is a shield. I know you see it. Imagine farting so good that the king gives you a 30-acre estate. Imagine someone farting so good that you're now reading about them 900 years later. Roland the Farter. Remember that time a Viking reenactor took down a drone with a spear at a medieval festival? They carved him into a commemorative runestone. Historians 1,000 years in the future. What the hell happened here? Gandhi came to London in 1888. Jack the Ripper started his killing spree in 1888. Gandhi returned to India in 1891. Jack's supposedly last murder was in 1891. Jack's identity was never found out. Jerry will be back soon with more disturbing facts. Grandparents in modern times. Grandson, I've made cookies. Come down before they get cold. Oh yeah, thanks grandma. In medieval ages. Grandfather, you have become far too incompetent for far too long. I am now the new emperor. Not if you are disinherited first. 7-year-long civil war breaks out. Alexander the Great has cities named after him. Simon Bolivar has a country named after him. Napoleon has wars named after him. Queen Victoria has an era named after her. Julius Caesar has a month and the title of king/emperor named after him. 6 without S is 9. I don't like knowing this. What thinking finding a king's tomb would be like. Whoa, is that a king's grave? We're gonna be in the history books. Actually finding a king's tomb. You're telling me there is a king of England buried here? Yes, I am certain about it. Can you imagine if Twitter existed in the 1800s? Abe Lincoln tweeting stuff like, wow, this place sucks, just shoot me. Too soon. He was shot in 1865. History teacher. Do not use Wikipedia as a source. Me. The history of Earth and the universe. Pilots who dropped Tsar bomb. So we will be out of the blast radius by the time it detonates, right? Soviet scientists. Perhaps. Napoleon planning out battles. Napoleon sending people who want independence to fight other people who want independence. Normal people with a time machine. I'm your great-grandson. No, you're not. Me with a time machine. Welcome to the Van Gogh Museum, Vincent. It's so beautiful. Can I get customer service help? Hi, Jesse. How can we help you? What dodgeball looked like versus what it felt like. These hot dogs are great. I'm so glad we have this hot dog stand in the center of the Pentagon courtyard. Greek army, only full of citizens who had to pay for their own equipment, had to rely on allies and mercenaries. Persian army, dependent on elite cavalry supplied by local satraps who probably want to overthrow you. Roman army, you are homeless? We don't care. Take 3 golden coins and a shield. Let's conquer. World history is basically just Europe, pulling a bunch of PP moves on the rest of the world. This song reminds me of the time I died in the Battle of Stalingrad. Colin Carpenter. You are not in no battles. The only battle you had was over your iPad getting taken away. British settlers in America, so in the mood, they sacrificed the integrity of their ships to get women. Shut up and take my iron. I want a goth girlfriend, and I want her now. Hi. Get scared. Please stop taxing us when we don't have a say in parliament. No. The American Revolution. Nature is humans' best friend. Nature will never hurt humans. People of Pompeii in 79 AD. Lies. Deception. Christmas in 1914. Christmas truce? Let's play football. 1915. Who would win? 3 German tanks, or a cook with 1 axe? A cook with 1 axe. Who would win? A political and cultural system based entirely on the dominance of heavy cavalry, or 100 pointy boys with a drum. This war is hell. If only it was like the wars of the past, where it was only about honor and short battles 1 century earlier. Today I lost 80% of my platoon, and I had no other choice but to eat my horse to survive. Some European guy drawing a border that will cause a decades-long conflict and kill millions of people. First assassination attempt on US president. Die, King Andrew. Wait, hold on a second. Die, King Andrew. Still doesn't work. Hehe, it's just a prank. He gets incarcerated. POV, you are a pet owner in the United Kingdom in 19... I don't get this. Britain in British history books. Britain in every other history book. What girls think guys want. What guys actually want. World domination by the Roman Empire. Van Gogh, Van Goghing, Van Gone. Based on a true story and also the movie. Look at my head. If those kids could see. Getting late to class. George Danzig copied from the Blackboard 2 problems thinking they were homework and solved them. They were actually 2 famous unsolved statistic problems, which earned him a PhD. Task failed successfully. Help, I accidentally invaded Poland. Germany, we will watch your career with great interest. 2020 versus the crisis of the 21st century. When you're trying your best to look good in a painting, but then you realize that you live in the 16th century, and people haven't figured out how to draw cats yet. I thought that was a fake one on the bottom left. They don't know I'm about to blast off. No, you can't just throw all my tea into the harbor. Haha, crates go sploosh. Roman historical figures English name. Freddy, their actual Roman name. Gallius Julius Caesar for Chungus. Other countries. We're losing coastline. No! The Netherlands. The ocean is swallowing up our land. Just make more. Times never change. This was the original Soy Jack and Ched. Rome versus chicken. Doesn't care about you, will always be there for you. Can be replaced by rebuilding. Not even the capital anymore. Capital of my heart. Falling apart. Can't fall apart. Caesar in Anatolia. Veni, Vidi, Vici. Caesar in Egypt. American Civil War general nicknames. Stonewall, Granny Lee, Uncle Billy, Old Baldhead. Liberian Civil War general nicknames. General Mosquito. General Butt Naked. Depressive realism. Then and now. I have the true feeling of myself only when I am unbearably unhappy. 21st century. When I'm messed up, that's the real me. We are the most iconic longtime enemies. Yes, at it again, man. I guess so. British colonies. The British are leaving your country. The British are leaving your country. Siege of Mazda. Haha, dumb Romans. They will never get up here. 1 year later. Keep on digging, boys. We will reach them in no time. 1337. Screw you, France. The throne of France is rightfully English. Screw you, England. The next 116 years. No, you. Year of the 3 prime ministers versus year of the 4 emperors. What is the Mason-Dixon line? The border between US and Canada. Luigi is a proud son of the South. When you're dressed to go to work and you decide to lay back down on your warm bed for a minute. When they insist on using BCE/CE instead of BC/AD. Oh right, the Common Era. The era that is common. The name chosen specifically for the era. That started around the event. History students in 2035. Highlighting all the major events in 2022. Thomas Grumpier German cousin. Gustav the Railgun. Invading Gauls. We are friendly. Please don't wake up the guards. The sacred geese. The Romans. Praise Jupiter. To honor this, we found a temple to Juno, to whom you geese are considered sacred. Looks cool, doesn't he? You fixed my garage door months ago. Leave me alone. But yes, what kind of unit is this? Roman auxiliary cavalry. 3,000 years in the future. The History Channel finds your room. What happened to our monuments? 223 BC versus is 2023 AD. Can I borrow this shirt, Dad? Update 1500 patch note. Brazil is now added. Mediterranean Empire. Mediterranean Empire. European. Soldier. Sir, we have conquered another city. What should we name it? Alexander. Name it Alexandria. Soldier. But sir, we've already named 60 other cities there. Brand recognition. Represent. Why is it when something happens, it is always you three? In 1795, a French cavalry unit surrounded the Dutch navy, which had been frozen into the ice near an island. The cavalry simply rode up to the Dutch ships and demanded they surrender. It was a rare defeat of a navy by cavalry. Okay, but did every kid have a certain historical time period that they were really into? Like, I was super into the California Gold Rush when I was 9 for no reason. How the Western Romans handled the Germanic tribes. They sacked Rome. No. How the Eastern Romans handled the Germanic tribes. Here's some money. Go sack the West instead. Okay. 550 BC. Sparta. Athens. We will destroy Athens and dominate all of the Greek Isles. No. The Delian League will remain on top. 1996 AD. Sparta. Athens. We should sign a peace treaty. Totally. How Germany was getting its tanks. World War I. I hate it here. We are garbage collectors in the middle of no man's land. We should get some nice job in the rear, but no, we are towing broken tanks. Ah, there it is. Rock, paper, scissors? Ja, sounds good. Deaths of modern monarchs. Dies. Second longest reign in history. No, the queen is dead. Long live the king. Death of monarchs during the time of troubles. I am Dmitri, son of Ivan the Terrible. I am ready to take my rightful throne. Fine with me. Welcome back, Dmitri. Has died 5 times by now. History documentary starter pack. With the latest technology. Intense music. Low budget reenactments. Must use the word uncover. Repeats same information throughout. Scanning random stuff. Know the difference. Mexico in movies versus medieval Europe in movies. Describe World War II. World War II was a global military conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945. Emoji only, please. Julius Caesar knife set. Paris, France versus Paris, Romania. They have a Paris in Romania? When England is blamed for the spread of colonialism. Spain and Portugal. Storm Bastille. They can't stop us all. Friday, July 14th, 1789. People. OMG, Pepsi almost had a military. Samsung, who had combat helicopters, fighter jets, tanks, and K9. 10 machine guns since the 80s. Samsung. Pathetic. Agriculture versus hunting. 1 crop gets stored. 1 crops aren't stored. 2 stored crops attracts rats. 2 rats aren't attracted by crops. 3 rats Okay, in conclusion, best system ever because we get to domesticate cats. But in hunting, worst system ever because we don't get to domesticate cats. No, that's not a dragon. It's clearly a wyvern. It only has 2 legs instead of 4. Don't you know anything about mythical creatures? Listen here, you bleeding geek. If it's a big flying lizard, it's a dragon. Being a pirate seems way cooler when you realize it's just a bunch of homies drunk driving these bad boys around the 7 seas. Me and the boys, after pooling all our money. The Mary. Best army and navy of its time. 1481. 70,000 men. 500 ships. A small island nation with an army of 3,000 led by knights host. Statue of Liberty when it was made versus the Statue of Liberty now. I realized I downloaded some of these memes wrong and I'm very annoyed. According to Greek legend, there was a famous woman who managed to avoid a death sentence and arguing that it would be a crime against the gods to destroy something so beautiful. I love history. Role models though. Feels. Guy who's into history but isn't weird about it. Starter pack. Wait, are there like types of historians who judge other historians for knowing different types of history? Is this a thing? Knows about history from here. More interested in cultures and religions than warfare. Knowledge of history comes from books and museums instead of video games. I think we overdid it last night, Jim. When you wake up after a night of heavy drinking and your friends invite you out for a round 2. I love this. There are moments, internet, when you approach great art. This is one of them. When you love a song, but you listen to it a lot during a really bad time in your life, so it reminds you of bad times. What did Vincent say when he lost his car in the parking lot? Where did my van go? The correct pronunciation of Goff is I've always been right. People say, oh my god, let's go. It's not. Well, actually, British people pronounce it Goff, and American people pronounce it Go. And unfortunately, wait, I've actually forgot this part of the name. Both are wrong. Vincent van Gogh is Dutch, so his name is actually pronounced Van Gogh. So suck my Society. If modern technology didn't exist, does anything beat the net plus trident combo? Maybe a bomb, you idiot. You guys are not ready for this conversation. You guys have got to... This aged horribly. Turns out this is actually what the pyramids are like. European legends. He who can pull this sword from the earth is the rightful king of Britain. Hawaiian legends. He who can move this big rock will unify the islands. How did he pull 6 women? Bro, he was a monarch. He could pull 1,000. We out here with the emperor. Don't annoy him. Oh no, the battle was today. The name Augustus in the ancient world. The name Augustus in the modern day. Waiting for Sisyphus to finish his set so I can use the equipment. Dating apps aren't working. Time to look confused in the World War II section. Builds first indoor toilet. Reaction from people when they learn that you poop indoors. No, you can't just use primitive traps to fight. We've spent millions of dollars on our weapon. You need to fight us with real weapons like us. Haha. Would stick go poke. People who discovered agriculture must have been like, yo, check this out, unlimited food hack. Flint napping for beginners. Neanderthals been real quiet since this video dropped. No one. American text, British textbooks too. I remember this guy, I've seen him before. Repost if you're older than Japan. Guys, I'm immortal. I can read this meme out, don't worry. Explore the world. No monotony of daily life. No tyrannical kings or queens. Actually get a vote in things. Surprisingly good working conditions. Decent chance at retiring early. Generals who've been fighting nomads since they were kids. Chase them. They're retreating. Alexander the Great, the first time he faced nomads. If they fake a retreat, we shall fake a pursuit. Bulgarian fishermen arrested for using artillery to catch fish. Police were called to a projectile hitting a church, with the likely source being the fisherman who missed his target. How do you miss a river? You should not judge Rome by modern morals. Other cultures back then were just as brutal, and they had many great achievements. The Aztecs were pure evil. They deserved... Oh my god. I didn't even know what happened. US troops accidentally raid sunflower oil factory. US military. Oil is oil. Caveman. I wish there was a good source of meat and other goods that will eat our junk and get rid of pests around us. These guys, say no more. Archaeologists be like, yeah, this is a giant churro. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary. A Western museum, how they got all these neat artifacts. Any museum in the world. Bronze Age outfits according to Hollywood. The stuff people actually wore. AI explains how pyramids were built. Appear strong when you are weak. By appearing weak has thought you were strong. Has to defend a town against 150,000 troops with only 100 of his own. Throws the gates wide open. Sits on top playing a flute. Enemy general thinks it's a trap and leaves. Dude has the biggest balls in history. This is boring. I miss Rome. Normal people with a time machine. Get down, Lincoln. Sure. Me with a time machine. 1 ticket to the games, please. It's free, you idiot. Viking berserkers are the first furries. Don't at me. You killed the king. This isn't what King Richard wanted. On second thought, when your old computer hard drive dies and you lose all your files and memories. Disney in World War II for some reason. Americans. Lol, Britain just claims a bunch of empty rocks. Also Americans. What was the incident at your ziggurat? No way. When you have class at 8 and have to fight the Persians at 9. Direct descendants of famous foes are revealed to be rival traders in London. Their ancestors famously clashed in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Ancient Roman engineer. I will build a path that brings water to our cities, powered purely by gravity, spanning over 120 kilometers, without trigonometry. Modern engineer. Constraint tool isn't working. What do you guys know about the pyramids? Bro had a vision. Bro listened to Ra. When the hell did this become more attractive than this? It didn't. We just stopped doing it for some reason. Stonk. A concentrated artillery bombardment. My parents at 25. This looks like a fine place to raise our child. Me at 25. I will never financially recover from this purchase. Most Renaissance painters. Today I will paint some angels. Meanwhile Da Vinci. Dissecting this corpse will help my art look more realistic. Giant sloths go extinct and nothing else can poop out your seeds. Cavemen into who can think you're great on roast to pear. What is socially acceptable in the US that would be horrifying in the UK? Dumping mass quantities of tea in the harbor. Holy Roman Empire and the Texas Republic existed only 30 years apart. Cite your work. Us. The beacon is lit. America calls for aid. Not the McDonald's sign. America's falling. How it really worked. That merchant told me it would give me protection of his god. Cool. We have no idea how they made Greek fire. Must be a myth. Do you know how to make Greek fire? Of course. I have the recipe on my fridge. It's not that I dislike modern fashion. I just think we could be more creative with our hat choices. Portuguese 1500s. What a beautiful island. Now it is mine. Portuguese 2020. I fear no man, but that thing. Piccolo Mini Zescar's dying wish was to have his skin used to make drums so that he might continue to lead his troops even after death. You sound funny. You're literally using my language. Suenas gracias so ja 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 ja. NASA had to relabel the PP sleeve for urinating in spacesuits from small, medium, and large to large, gigantic, and humongous, because astronauts would only choose the large and they kept slipping off. God, I hope this is true. Oh my god, it is. 1945. No, surrender is not the way of the warrior. Death before dishonor. 1570s. My master called me a monkey once, so I'm defecting to your clan. Gets plenty of exercise, drinks pure water, breathes pollution-free air, eats free-range organic diet. Dead by age 35. Tin during the Bronze Age. I will help you forge the most powerful weapons known to man. Tin now. Bucket. Sir, we have found a potential flaw in our equipment. Alright, show me it. Can you explain what I'm looking at? The Wi-Fi password is on the back of the router. The back of the router. Flag of the Owoman Empire. Mentally, I'm here. Dancing plague of 1518. It was a case of dancing mania. 50 and 400 people took to dancing for days. I would never be a simp. At your service, Mr. President. The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of great moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. Switzerland. Admiral Zheng He's ship, larger one, compared to the ship of Italian explorer Christopher Columbus. Ships were massive back then, but still not as big as modern day ships. That's pretty small, it can fit inside a glass container. My girlfriend told me that I should treat her like a princess. So I married her off to a stranger to strengthen the alliance with France. Bears can't carry artillery shells. Bears aren't supposed to drink vodka. Cigarette? Yes. Fun fact, Charles Darwin and Steve Irwin owned the same tortoise. You're the best, Harriet. Love you too, Darwin. Guess you could say the tortoise owned them. Knowing 99% of the world and controlling 25%. Knowing 25% of the world and controlling 90. Lots of people want me dead. And at the top of that list, it's this guy. Cyberpunk is so unrealistic. There's no way a corporation could take over and run an entire country. United Fruit Company. Am I a joke to you? When you get another wife, but she doesn't give you a male hair. Sons. Dictators who win elections with 95% of the vote. You have my respect. George Washington, who won the election with 100% of the vote. Imagine the history of the United States, but every time a gun is fired, it goes faster. Aurora lights in 2024. Oh my gosh, look at the bright lights. I must take photos and upload them. I really want to see it. Aurora lights in medieval times. The gods are speaking to us. Yes, Chinese people in 4000 BC, discovering silk for the first time. That worm, it's pooping money. I'm reading an essay called Mal Desire in Pharaonic Egypt by Alex Clayton, which is actually pretty good, but I just need to draw attention to this little gem of a pickup line. How beautiful are thy buttocks? Attention followers, you now know how to write nice butt in hieroglyphics. Do you think kids during the Industrial Revolution had that same weird millennial Gen Z experience of having technology change so much while they were growing up? Middle-aged man in the 1890s, condescendingly explaining what a candle is. A 13-year-old. Okay, governor. Today I learned parasitus was an accepted role in Roman society, in which a person could live off the hospitality of others, in return for flattery, simple services, and a willingness to endure humiliation. Bring this back. We still have Twitch streamers. Countries who have messed up parts of their history starter pack. Speaks a language located on Earth, has dirt. Flag. Contains humans. Existed at one time. Ancestry.com. Habsburg. Okay, so these people this is like a royal family who, you know, got it on with other people in their family. Is this Tinder? That's why their jaw is so big. It's called the Habsburg jaw. Medieval kings will really like. That's my emotional support, silly little guy. British-French rivalry. We are the most iconic rivals in history. Yeah. Earth-Thea rivalry. At it again. First Punic War. You guys just lost 200,000 men at sea storms. Surrender, please. No. Second. 150,000 this time. Surrender. All our armies are defeated. Allow us to surrender, please. No. Romans in 1453. Teacher, what are you laughing about? Me? Nothing. My brain. Ottoman Empire. Who said Greek tragedies were not funny? You won't kill me. Go. Fabulous. Unless I reconsider. Not fabulous. Hawaii has a feral chicken problem, and it's being discussed everywhere from city councils to the state legislature. Australians remembering emus. The Czech knight Joseph Mensik posing with his sword and suit of armor sometime before his one-man stand against the German German annexation. He is captured and sold as a slave to his own clients. Manages to free himself from slavery years later. Goes home. Continues to sell slaves. Losing 2 world wars. Winning 2 world wars. Winning a world war and losing the next one. Winning 2 world wars. This volcano looks awfully dangerous, sir. We better turn back. Fortune favors the brave. Steer to where Pomponenus is. But it was just right there. When someone asks why you want to conquer India. T. France, May 23rd, 1920. I have just fallen off a train and I am the president of France. And I'm Emperor Napoleon. Forget Marvel, forget remakes, forget sequels and prequels. We need a solid resurge of historical mythological films again. Hardest archive fit. Oldest sweater, 1,700 years old. Pants, crown, footwear. I want to wear that crown. It looks like a chocolate cake. The Ottomans saw the future. Ancient Rome. Sports stadiums were built by tax dollars to house bread and circus events designed to distract the masses from the problems of the decaying empire. Glad we've evolved past that now. Territories of the Roman Empire by the approximate number of years as part of the empire. History channels at 3 a.m. Which Greek god would be the best streamer? Ancient historian. This was once revealed to me in a dream. Source? Dream. Dream is my source. Charles Darwin. Publishing numerous studies on the benefits of genetic diversity. Having 10 children with your cousin. That poor French guy. We've got his house surrounded, outnumbering him 20-1, and I'm eager to bring him to justice for his crimes. That Frenchman sacrificing himself to protect his wife and infant. Bumfato. Joseph Bumfato was a fire chief and convicted drug dealer. He disappeared in the 1970s. When you thought you found a body at sea, but it turns out it's an ancient statue. Italy, circa 1972. Descendants of the elite fierce Imperial Japanese army. Descendants of the Chinese farmers. Really picking and choosing. Who need their regimen changed? Me. Remember that time a Viking reenactor took down a drone with a spirit at a medieval festival? They carved him a commemorative runestone. Historians 1,000 years in the future. What the hell happened here? Study finds 100% of men would immediately leave their desk job if asked to embark upon a crusade. Join me. Imperial legions. I'm doubling your pay. Not enough. Caesar's legions. I want to fight a civil war, but I can't afford to pay you, and I already owe you money. That's okay. Take our life savings. Chronologically, this is less accurate than this. 46 presidents, 1 civil war. 61 kings, 3 major civil wars. 2 kings, 8 dictators, 30 presidents, 5 coups, 1 former dictator elected president. Biggest corruption history scandal. Foxes disguised as monks. On the left from Japan and on the right from Denmark. It was a global problem. Problem? Blessing. Modern day goth girl makes food for Roman soldiers. Therapist. Medieval Yoda isn't real. He can't hurt you. Medieval Yoda. If you get married, make sure your spouse is in a different class than you. For instance, if you do a lot of magic damage, then consider marrying a tank or someone with a lot of HP/armor. This will make your bond stronger and more viable in the current meta. Breaking up in person, breaking up over text, building a church so you can get divorced. Written history exists again. The Sea People. Today I had a man tell me in all earnest that I obviously wasn't very good at my classical studies degree because Zeus only had 1 son, Hercules. His source was the Disney movie Hercules. Monk. Just a normal letter M, please. Scribe. What everyone thinks Vikings looked like versus what they actually looked like. Traffic is crazy right now. Men learn about an empire and base their entire personality about it. New epic of Gilgamesh dropped before the winds of winter. How Caesar looked like. The guy playing Brutus on HBO's Rome. Independent discoveries of the Pythagorean theorem. I hate Pythagoras. I hate it. The nature of humanity is just that every so often someone accidentally invents a² plus b² equals c² again. Shirley Slade. 22-year-old pilot with a helmet, goggles, and gloves. 1943. Dating advice from 4,500 years ago. If you marry a party girl, one known as fun-loving to her townsfolk, if she is rather unregulated and indulges for a while, do not deny her, but let her enjoy herself, as a light heart makes for navigable waters. Bronze Age mindset. Odysseus was offended by the insinuation that he was a merchant, not that he was a city-sacking pirate. Sigmund Freud. This page has some issues. A lot of issues. Hold on, the British version of the dollar store is called Poundland? Help! The oldest written thing currently known as a grain ledger. Civilizations are temporary. Microsoft Excel is eternal. Cringe British colonial city names. Fries, Egg Harbor, Bumpass. Based Spanish let me make a guess. Is the person who made this meme Spanish? And am I British? Self-isolation. Boring. Clinical. Following the orders of a government. No one will notice your effort. Exiled for the good of the realm. Mysterious. Sexy. Everyone will wonder what you did. Know your history. history. I am sorry, Flappy, but I remember when this came out. The whole internet was talking about it. And Only Up created it the same? Really? I would have just kept the game up. Block the noise, it's a game. USA in 1776. Stupid British marching in their bright uniforms and lining up in fields. Let's ambush them. 1976. It wasn't fair. The Viet Cong kept ambushing us and fighting dirty. Death during consensual sex. Nelson Rockefeller, former vice president of the United States and heir to the Rockefeller family fortune, died in 1976 of a heart attack at age 70, rumored to be caused by an orgasm. Evolution, can you give me a pattern-seeking brain? To avoid predators? Yes. That's a nice island you got there. It'd be a shame if somebody turned it into a peninsula. Average Roman physician. I am hurt, please help me. Just pour some wine on the wound. Quickly, remove his intestines, pour wine on them and then back in again. Taxation without representation. You got lucky, traitors. We beat you up. You suck, we know. Please come back to civilization. No, want a cabbage? Diocletian, who had retired to a palace in Demoltia to grow vegetables, observed the collapse of his carefully constructed new order with dismay. If you could come here and see the splendid cabbages I have grown with my own hands, then you would not ask such a thing of me. He was asked to come out of retirement. A female dragonborn paladin with the noble background is the ultimate switch. She can be the knight, the princess, or the dragon, as circumstances require. I'm imagining a scenario where, through a series of misunderstandings, she's hired to rescue herself from herself. The story goes that O'Grimacy was discontinued due to choice comments made by an actor playing the mascot at an event in Philly. Ugly Man Contest. Men competing for the title of ugliest. Cool, I don't know what this guy's name is though, but good job, you won. The inventor of Vaseline was such a firm believer in its medicinal properties that he claimed to have eaten a spoonful of it a day. During a bout of pleurisy in his 50s, he ordered his nurse to cover him from head to toe in the substance, and soon he recovered. He lived to be 96. What? We don't know what happened, okay? We want to go back, but we can't. Hell, I wouldn't even mind going back to 1948. What it feels like to fall asleep in your jeans. No, when you fall asleep in your jeans, it's fine because you're usually either really tired or drunk. But to sleep, that's when it's painful. That's when it's bad. That's when it's awful. William Adams, the first Englishman in Japan. Why did he go to Japan though? Why did William Adams go to Japan? Oh, a shogunate recognized his usefulness and made him a trusted advisor on Western technology and international affairs. Ooh, he built the first Western-styled Japanese ship. That's cool. We just learned something. If you didn't know that, you have to subscribe. Plate armor was actually kind of light. It wasn't supposed to be that thick. Plate armor. 50-year-old plane in my head, and 50-year-old plane in reality. Humans after inventing bread. You want to slice it up and cook it again. Oh, yeah. Parry this, scoundrel. NASA discovers gold on Mars. The Spanish. Some British dude coming back from a vacation. There's no way an ancient civilization could have built pyramids. This guy with a stick. Japanese bullet train. Dutch bullet train. My political ideology is whatever leads to this. Everybody's making jokes, but we're lucky the Swiss never entered the world wars. Switzerland during both world wars. When the hell did this become more attractive than this? Americans. Well, Britain just claims a bunch of empty rocks. Also Americans. Caesar, killed brutally. Some guy in 1860. Vibe check. Use over time for simp. It peaked in 1776. And give women equal rights. Simp. Conquered quarter of the world for spices. Puts none of them in their food. Japan. Best way to treat frostbite. The world. Wait, how did you get this? Some caveman, after taking a stick to throw his pointy stick further. Literal continents and worthless islands. The UK. Public toilets Romans used. Romans on the toilet be like, you have freed us. Oh, I wouldn't say freed, more like under new management. An ancient Indian swimming pool from the 5th century CE that's still used to this day. When I'm in a drinking fuel competition and my opponent is a tank. Roman Empire was the greatest empire ever. Then why is the meme in English? What people think were traditional samurai weapons. What were actually traditional samurai weapons? No one. Literally no one. Boys, domestic cats sneaking themselves into human civilization. How dudes pulled up on females back in the 1500s. Was Sepith, baby. Did you come here to die? Nah, mate, came here yesterday. Discovery of Greenland be like, damn, I just discovered this remote, desolated place covered by ice and snow. I shall call it Greenland. War before. I shall go and kill the enemies of my motherland. War now. This work is so tough. Yeah, but in 3,000 years we will still be remembered. Definitely made by aliens. The history of France and how people remember it. Don't do war, world leaders. And how will you enforce that? How we use swords now versus how we used to. Whoever gets 100 kills first wins. When you hear elephant noises coming from the mountains. When you serve hundreds of years of human war. Only for a stupid stupid dog to be claimed their best friend. Maritime law states that anything abandoned in international waters can be salvaged by anyone with the skills to do so. England. Alright, so tea is now going to cost slightly more. America. Change team. Ancient Greece. We have the great military of Sparta and the scholars of Athens. Greece today. Well, we're in debt. When you're a bored Viking and want an easy raid. I want a goth girlfriend and I want her now. Hi. Get scared. Peasant. Apologies, my lord, but the harvest was so bad this year we cannot pay your tax and feed our families. Lord. Bro, you're talking a lot of smack for a man with such a flammable house. Leonardo da Vinci, after inventing the first tank. I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are gonna love it. 7-year-old Spartans being told they're in the army now. Who would win? Greatest cavalry in all of Japan. Some Portuguese shooty sticks. 19th century and 21st century. Imagine living in a society where even streetlights are beautiful. For those who do not want to respect traffic lights. Europe every couple of decades. Father, I crave violence. When your ancestors built a stone circle, so 2,000 years later, you can use it to get money from tourists. Stonehenge. Imagine being a Native American in 1492 and seeing this bizarre thing step off a ship. You're a scholar in the Middle Ages. In Europe, get you a man who can do both. Gentleman in the streets, warrior of the fleets. I'll be beheaded tomorrow. Can you help me with my last experiment? I need you to measure how long I can keep blinking with my head chopped off. Sure, buddy. You can count on me. What's wrong with humans? There's literally just a giant garbage ocean just floating out in the ocean. Oops, wrong pick. I bet there is a couple of seconds on that medieval torture stretcher rack where it feels incredible. Guns are the best. No, melee weapons are. Poland in the 18th century. Hear me out. Britain after the 7 Years' War be like, I have a plan. I just need money. This drawing that my history teacher did on the whiteboard. Damn, you should be an art teacher. USA military bases in Europe and European military bases in the US. As a non-American, that's exactly how I view it. Updated history of the presidents. Shouldn't Obama get another face? I wonder which one's Trump. 4,000 years ago and today. Dictators who win elections with 95% of the votes. You have my respect. George Washington, who won the election with 100% of the vote. Vikings. We're here to pillage and plunder. Also Vikings. But first, let's name this place Sheep Butt Village for fun. Nobody. Not a single soul. French people in the 1950s. Haha, bazooka scooter. Looking at the list of countries that didn't commit war crimes, it's blank. Julius Caesar tries to have complete control of Rome. Brutus. And I stabbed him personally. Royal Navy. Quality trained crew will bring us victory. French Navy. Stronger hulls will keep us in the fight longer. Spanish Navy. Mucho canyons equals mucho damage. An Alcatraz guard, realizing he was fooled by dummy heads during count. And 3 inmates are missing. Oh man, I'm so fired. Aztecs in fiction. I'ma sacrifice you to my gods. No, you can't do that. It's barbaric. Aztecs in reality. Would you like to visit our highly developed cities? We even have aqueducts and we sacrifice humans to our gods. Oh, much better then. Wait, what? My girlfriend normally. I love you so much. You're my very best friend. I love you more. You're my best friend. My girlfriend when she's losing an argument. My ancestors ruled over yours. Shut up. Holy Roman Empire and Texas Republic existed only 30 years apart. Roman Empire, 800 to 1860. Texas, 1836. Cite your work. Us, Greek man. What's wrong with my child? He doesn't look like me. Zeus. Texas secedes from the USA. USA 5 minutes later, knowing they have oil. Albert Einstein saying his last words. The nurse who couldn't speak German. Flags now, and flags back then. They looked so cool, they were so colorful. During World War II, the US Army designed hand grenades in the shape of baseballs, for they believed every young American should be able to throw it with distance and accuracy. Alcohol, because no great story ever started with a glass of milk. Being a king in any European kingdom. Bend the knee. Yes, my lord. Yes, your majesty. Yes, your highness. Being a king in Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Guys, please listen. No, we elected you, now shut up. You may be old, but are you this old? If you don't go to church, church will go to you. Most Renaissance painters. Today I will paint some angels. Meanwhile, Da Vinci. Dissecting this corpse will help my art look more realistic. You have the genetics of a king. It's the Habsburgers. Sword. Spear but small. Dagger. Spear but really small. Mace. Stick with a bunch of small spears on it. Bow. Just a way to shoot small spears. Rifle. Uses chemical energy to shoot one really tiny spear really fast. Shotgun. Fires a bunch of tiny spears. Snipers. Extremely only long-range spear, maximum penetration. The Mongolians are really cool, of course, but it's also sad to read about their conquests. What do you mean this is all that remains of one of the greatest cities in world history? When a fly falls on your soup. When a strange leaf falls on Emperor Sheng Nong's water. Infant monkey isolation experiment. 30 days isn't enough. 6 months. Deeply depressed. Still not enough. 1 year. Starves itself to death. Interesting. English Arctic explorers. Listen to the natives and don't eat polar bear liver. Get horrific vitamin A poisoning. Actually, beauty and a healthy image are a social construct. Haven't you seen how historically a country's king would have a prized and overweight wife? Checkmate. Compelling. However, what did the king's younger mistresses look like? Reasons to like France. The food, the people, the wine. Learning about historical events. Being in historical events. Romans. Can we just copy your god? Greeks. Yeah, just change it up a bit so it doesn't look too obvious that you copied. Okay. Greek god, Poseidon. Roman god, Neptune. When an ancient Roman emperor is deposed, off with his head. When an Eastern Roman emperor is deposed, out with his eyes. 18th century physicians watching modern doctors treat the sick by giving them even more blood. Holy Roman Empire. Flights? Wait, what do you mean flights? Are you okay? I posted a historically inaccurate meme and everyone's gonna comment about it. 50 states, each with their own set of laws and governments, under a head who holds his power by the support of the majority, / more powerful heads of states. It's surprise medieval Europe feudalism. Random citizen. Why would you send me to the guillotine? I closed my eyes and did eeny meeny miny mo and it landed on you, unfortunately. If you think your cut is bad, just remember that Mary Antoinette once rocked up to court with a warship on her head. Norway's flag in the 1100s. Norway's flag in 1400. World history be like. North America, Europe, Asia, Antarctica. Online. 800 years. The famine. Terrorists. Murderers. Reality. Pint? Yes. Pearl Harbor or something. I don't know, I'm Chinese. Your largest export is food. Your largest export is internet domains. Your largest export is independent days. France and Britain in the past. I will rule the world. No, I will. Britain and France now. This is my fish. America decides whose fish it is. Therapist. Chernobyl Teletubbies are not real. They can't hurt you. Chernobyl Teletubbies. Britain invaded over half the world for spices and then decided they didn't like any of them. The spices are too spicy. Yes, more blandness for us, please. King dies. His eldest son. Oh, I'm supposed to look surprised. England. Great Britain. Greatest Britain. The cost of this 4-bedroom house in 1958. So 4-bedroom to actually predict what you think it is. You can write a comment, I'll just predict it in your head. It is $87 a month. Smallpox victims exist. Milkmaids. Pathetic. Plague is raging in Europe. Isaac Newton. Aha, colors. When you invent fire, but your friends ask if it's lit enough. George Washington watching his armies of hillbillies and farmers defeat the British. The Aztec high priest stopping cannonballs flying right towards him after sacrificing 20 people to ties of everybody. Wow, the Spartans held an entire army with only 300 men. They were so cool. Meanwhile, some Norwegian dudes with an X. Oh my gosh, you are Diogenes. Bro, it's me, Alexander the Great. I'm your biggest fan. Ask me whatever you want and I will give it to you. Okay, stand aside to stop blocking the sun. Modern boys waking up. Even if I have a dozen alarms, I still can't wake up. Medieval men. Thank you, Rooster. It is time to labor. I got you, man. Japan then, and Japan now. This is like every country, to be honest. Swedish sugar experiment on mentally disabled. We will feed you guys large amounts of sugar to see effects. Okay. Doc, my teeth are falling out. You will publish your findings, right? No, we were funded by the sugar industry. Why are there so many demigods around? Zeus. Tutankhamun depicted in sculptures, and in reality. Nubian pyramids, 2,500 years old. Italians arrive. Destroy them all. Of course. People in England don't realize their awful little country is only as big as Minnesota. Greg's in UK, over 2,400. Greg's in Minnesota, 0. The important historical figure actually bothering to write something down. And historians. Me. I promise I won't form a perfect 16-man Roman tortoise formation tonight. 3 drinks later. The world, if people treated each other like they do on email. Modern archaeology. Look at this poop. Now we know how peasants lived 5,000 years ago. Biblical archaeology. This is where King David used to stand. Oedipus was pretty tragic. At least it ended all with them. His daughter. Make sure the cave is airtight, boys. This is sad. Anne Boleyn doesn't give birth to a boy. Henry VIII. World War I generals. After gaining 10 meters and only losing 10,000 men. Victory. Guys want to run their mouth until I pull up with me and 256 of my closest friends, forming a perfect Macedonian phalanx. Egyptians finding out that the same region, Nubia, that they always dominated for 400 years are fighting fighting back and are now winning. They will then get conquered later on. Oh, you're British? Name every colony. I can't. My friend. What's so funny? My brain. Alexander Clamilton, Hollywood. Look everyone, we made another cool and realistic medieval movie. Historical costume experts. Classic facts. The Roman general and statesman Julius Caesar never once said thank you in his entire life. This is most likely because he did not speak English. Chickens didn't evolve from the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Paleontologists and paleo-nerds. Creationists and evolution deniers. The most terrifying capability of the United States military remains to be the capacity to deploy a fully operational Burger King to any terrestrial theater of operations in under 24 hours. Me and bro, after a slight disagreement. Combat now. They're shooting, get down. Combat 200 years ago. Why aren't we shooting back? It's their turn, idiot. 90% of historical nations, when asked to choose an animal mascot. Here you go. 18-year-olds today and 18-year-olds in 16... What? And 18-year-olds in 1066. Bride. Shopping. Medieval kings. I'll take your entire stock. When was empathy invented? 1909. People at funerals in 1908. Your parents are dead. Crassus, you stupid monster. They're not running out of arrows. You assured me they would run out of arrows, Crassus. I was assured of this. Forget birth signs. What's your birth late medieval armor style? Henry VIII. Delete my marriage. Pope? No. Henry VIII. Look at me. I am the church now. Learning a modern language. Where is the train station? I am well, thank you. Here is my pencil case. Learning Latin. Indeed, they desire glory. Have you expelled jealousy from your soul? We must sacrifice before we wage war. Jamaican and Dutch singers in a German band singing an English song about a Russian guy with Asian outfits. Swear jar. And telling people about history when I wasn't asked jar. Damn it. I hate being on the front. I wish I could be in one of these forts where nothing bad happens. Meanwhile in Fort de Vaux, I'm so thirsty that I'm licking the moisture on our walls to survive. America innovates. China replicates. Europe regulates. How long has France been around? Approximately 1.8 million years ago. Mitsubishi USA. Hi, do you still make these? No, it's an older model. Roman Kingdom. Republic. Empire. Eastern Roman Empire. Western Roman Empire. Holy Roman Empire. What we think people from the 14th century would be mind blown by. What they'd really be mind blown by. Remember the pharaohs of Alexandria? This is how it looks today. Feel old yet? Did you do it? Yes. What did it cost? 40% of our annual budget. I still don't understand the phrase luck of the Irish, because the luck of the Irish is, historically speaking, terrible. Realistic painters. Picasso. Napoleon according to the French, and Napoleon according to the British press. No one. The British, after trying leaf water in the 1600s. Who would win? Most of Europe's strongest reactionary monarchy. Some people with some funny ideas who can't stop killing each other. Julius Caesar. Popular Roman leader and author, dies at 55 surrounded by his friends. How's the job search going? How close was Rome to an industrial revolution? Monk. Just a normal letter M, please. Scribe. China. Invents gunpowder. Indians. Cool. Mongolians. Cool. Japanese. Cool. Europeans. Teacher. The test isn't that confusing. The test. You know what? Forget you. Unnavels your naval engagement. List of territories conquered by the Romans. You can help by expanding it. Rome Total War has now been cited in over 200 divorce proceedings. We have no idea how they made Greek fire. Must be myth. Do you know how to make Greek fire? Of course, I have the recipe on my fridge. So glad I grew up doing this and not this. Filipino names be like, first name, last name. What year is it? 50 BC. What does BC stand for? Before Christ. Who is Christ? No freaking clue, mate. European royalty when they had their portraits painted. And European royalty when cameras were invented a long time ago. You can live rent-free in me if you make energy for me. Yes, it's the same thing. When you find out that Henry VIII got catfished in the 1500s. Is that true? That actually happened? What fashion companies want to sell to men, and what men really want to wear. Hey kid, wanna know how I survived the Antarctic? Okay, sure, why not? 1 hour later. When you are one of the best rifles of World War II, but nobody remembers you. 1789 and 1806. Napoleon talking to the Roman Empire. Damn, you really live like this? When you tried to take a forest in a Vietnamese forest. 13 faces detected. Come on, babe. I need you to help me in another world war. Yes, honey. POV. You colonized the new world. A single death is a tragedy. A million deaths is a statistic. The Spanish flu in 1918. I'm gonna do what's called a statistic. Who started World War I? Gary! You discover a new island. The natives eat your captain. Who would win? One of the largest Mayan temples in Belize and over 2,300 years old. Some cats looking for stone. Why wouldn't you ever give up? Because he never did. A drunk driver smashed into this tree. Out of everything he could smash into. The only obstacle in miles. It's around 300 years old. Penny auction foreclosure. The term arose the foreclosure of farms during the Great Depression in the United States. Neighbors would gather in large numbers at the auction and place bids of only a few pennies, while intimidating anyone who attempted to bid competitively competitively. In the end, the bank that owned the farm would get whatever the bid was, and the neighbors would return the farm and its contents to the farmer. No, you can't just buy back your farm for only a few pennies. Someone else place a bid. 50 cents for my farm back. Silence. 1346. Die, English dog. Your entire existence is Europe's mistake. Half of your territory is ours, by right. 1940. We'll take what Frenchmen we can with us. We will return, and we're taking your country back as well. We'll throw what's left of our army into a rearguard action so you can escape back to England. Thank you for trying, friend. This thrilling series reveals the shocking story of how fashion icon Christian Dior and his contemporaries, including Coco Chanel, Pierre Balmain, and Cristobal Balenciaga, navigated the horrors of World War II and launched modern fashion. Hugo Boss. Romans were known to create tombs for their dogs and gave them epitaphs to remember them by. One such inscription read, "I am in tears while carrying you to your last resting place, as much as I rejoiced when bringing you home with my own hands 15 years ago." Social history, history of religion, art/literature history, military history, historians on the internet. This is true. I have made a lot of history memes, and it's always to do with military stuff, most of it. I try not to just make it all about military, as you can see.